at the conference this week. 3 interesting tales of innovation. The brands were something from Nabisco, something from Bud Light, and something from Nestle, from Butterfinger. The first one we'll do is the drink. So Bud Light now sells something called a Lime-Rita. This is an 8-ounce can. Lime-A-Rita. Margarita with a twist, malt beverage with natural flavors and caramel color added. It contains alcohol, but clearly it's not like served with like tequila. And it says try it over ice. All right, let's try it first. It's not bad. I drink it. It's kind of refreshing. The story of this was the CEO of Anheuser-Busch was out in Asia somewhere. Maybe it was Japan. And what he saw was over there was a lot of people pouring beer over ice. And he thought this was like a new trend that was occurring. So he got on the phone with his marketing people and people over in the US and was like, figure this out. Beer over ice. It's gonna maybe be a new thing. Check it out. I think it was Friday. The guy in marketing or innovation or R&D got this call from the CEO. By Sunday, just 2 days later, they were already demoing stuff with some of their customers who were in for the Anheuser-Busch tour. There's a really neat tour of the Anheuser-Busch factory. I actually really recommend it. It's a really neat experience. But they got people, at the end of the tour, you can go hang out and taste test different products of Anheuser-Busch. There's a lot of them. What they did was they took some of these people that were on the tour on Sunday and had them try beer over ice. And they said, hey, these are some new beers we're working on. They put them over ice. Can you tell us what you think? I think it was maybe like 7,500 people they had, demoed this with. Not a single person enjoyed it. No one wanted beer over ice. But they didn't want to disappoint the CEO, who was clearly on this kick of putting a liquid over ice, a beverage over ice. So instead of disappointing them, they went back and tried to figure out, well, what could they do, right? If we're not going to put beer over ice because nobody likes it, what could we formulate to put over ice? And they dreamt up these Lime-A-Ritas. The thing with the Lime-A-Ritas is they've done this product before. They've tried to sell margaritas. They used to sell it in, they were trying to compete with the cocktail aisle and put it in a margarita kind of container. They basically copied other people that were selling margarita beverages. But this time when they tried to sell it in the beer aisle. They tried to sell it in a beer-looking can, and they tried to sell it along other malt beverages and beer products. This thing is taken off like crazy. So what kind of lessons can we take from Lime-A-Rita? Well, one, they didn't spend a lot of time thinking about this. They, in just a couple days, they were already in front of customers, getting their thoughts and getting them to sample ideas. Test fast, right? Stop delaying, get in front of people really quickly, because odds are you're gonna find out like something's not right, and you're gonna have to go back to the drawing board and figure things out. So it was neat to see how quick Anheuser-Busch was with getting in front of customers. The other thing I think to take from this is just where they're deciding to compete. Instead of competing where they've competed before with margaritas, compete against beer. Compete in the beer aisle. It's what we're trying to do with High Rise. Like, how can we stop competing against CRMs? Where's the aisle that we could sell High Rise in that stands out, right? These Lime-A-Ritas, it's a malt beverage, but it stands out in the beer aisle. Next on the list is, let's talk about Nabisco. I think she's the CMO of a division of Nabisco. I think she's the CMO of, well, you've got me. I have no idea. Anyway, she gets Nabisco and she's in charge of the Wheat Thins brand. They look at Wheat Thins and they realize the category Wheat Thins is in, this kind of healthy snacking, the category itself is just increasing like crazy. It's growing and growing and growing and growing. People are buying into this. But Wheat Thins isn't growing. Wheat Thins has been shrinking for, I think she said, a decade. Why isn't Wheat Thins growing, but the category that Wheat Thins is that Wheat Thins is in is the name, wheat. When they started thinking about this, wheat isn't popular, right? Wheat is a carb, and people are avoiding carbs, and people want like not processed wheat and bread and carbohydrates anymore. So what could they do? Well, so then they go and they think like, well, people are really, what is trending? Well, whole raw foods are trending. Things like peas, rice, Oats, there's still a wheat thins product. They weren't going to get rid of the product. But why not now attack another part of the market by creating something like wheat thins, but calling them something else? Good thins. But now these are made with rice and with oat, rice flour, pumpkin powder, dried red bell peppers, dried corn, black beans. This sounds not that bad, right? This sounds like a good thing. Let's try it. Veggie Blend. Not bad. Tastes healthy. All right, let's try the oat and flax. Sweet oat. Not bad. It's actually pretty good together. So what do we take from this? For example, you're in the fax machine market. Well, you could look at your product and kind of be curious. Well, why doesn't our fax machine, business do well anymore? Does our product suck? Maybe we need to innovate. Well, if you look at the whole category of fax machines, like faxing isn't all that popular anymore, right? People are moving all this stuff online and sending emails. I mean, duh. But it's you looking at the category, not just your product, to understand like how the market's working. This was the same thing. Like you could look at wheat thins and being like, oh man, maybe all snack food is tanking. Like we can't do anything, we give up. Well, is it true? No, healthy snacks aren't tanking. Healthy snacks are doing well. Wheat thins used to be a healthy snack. What's wrong with wheat thins? So in that situation, they were able to look and narrow down like, well, it wasn't the market. It was actually the product. This lime Rita is growing on me too. All right, last product. I heard from a guy at Nestle. So he came in, and I don't remember what got him looking into this problem, but he was in charge of Butterfinger. And it sounds like Butterfinger has a problem, and that Butterfingers crumble. Butterfingers are known as a messy snack. I guess people complain about Butterfingers all the time. When you eat into a Butterfinger, it breaks and it gets on your shirt. But he went on Pinterest and he started looking at Butterfinger and he just looked up Butterfinger on Pinterest. And what he found was really interesting. A lot of people are doing things with Butterfingers like making cupcakes and cookies. They're baking with Butterfinger. What this caused him to realize was Butterfinger isn't just a candy bar, it's an ingredient. If Butterfinger is an ingredient, what else can we put it in? And so they invented these Butterfinger peanut butter cups. It's a peanut butter cup, like a Reese's, except they put Butterfinger in it. They're square-ish, like rounded squares. Tries to be a little bit of different form factor. They have like the texture of a Reese's, but they're crunchy. There's crunch in them. This is what they're competing against. And I guess these guys are the king of the candy bar aisle. They stand out, they're always at the top. They've been a bestseller for many, many years. And I guess one of the things in the candy and confectionery industry is never compete with Reese's because people love this thing. Apparently this finally has started to break through and crack the peanut butter cup, right? No one's done anything with peanut butter cups for so long except for Reese's. Well, these guys have figured it out. And so what is the lesson there? I don't know. This is I wish I knew even more data here, right? Because I swear if I would have learned that Butterfinger is an ingredient, I would have tried to get out of the candy bar aisle altogether. These things are still, kind of buried in a candy bar aisle with a bunch of other candy. Why not put it in the baking aisle, right? Why not, if it's such a great ingredient, why not encourage people and give them the tools to add Butterfinger to things more easily, more convenient, right? Sell cake mixes and cookie mixes and whatever else in the baking aisle with Butterfinger. I don't know why they didn't do that, right? Maybe there was a really great reason. Maybe they're doing it, I have no idea. But they came out with these things, and they're good, and it sounds like it was a home run for them, so bravo. See, I think a really interesting lesson there is they looked at their product, and they did what was necessary to realize their product wasn't just what they thought it was. It was something else to a lot of other people. They looked at what other people were doing with their product, and it turns out they weren't just using it as how it was meant to be. And that is obviously the place of so much insight that we really need to seek this kind of stuff out. All right? How are people using your product in a way you didn't envision? Go find those ways. Are there any trends there? Those are the things that really obviously stand out as the things that you've missed adding to your product or adding to the way you market your product. For example, like we're finding people use our product at trade shows for trade show leads. This is really news to me. Like, I don't know anything about trade shows. It's such kind of an offline business, and we do such an online business that using high-rise at trade shows is just kind of opening up all sorts of new avenues for us in terms of marketing and ways we want to improve the product. And I don't know, it's making me rethink kind of how I was looking at our product to begin with. Maybe similarly how people kind of were looking at what a Butterfinger is. Follow the people who share these stories. I'll kind of try to create a synopsis in the comment or description box below, because these aren't really my stories. These are just stuff I got from a panel that I watched about these brands, and I suggest checking them out yourself and drawing up whatever insights you can from peanut butter cups, good thins, and Limeritas. What are you up to?
Here, why don't you leave your sandwich like that? I'll get you a little cheese.
You got it, yummy.
No,
Yes.
I like cheese.
No, I know you like cheese. Everybody knows you like cheese. Everybody on the vlog knows you like cheese. I hope you dug those stories. Those were some of the most poignant things I kind of picked up from the trade show conference. You can just see how they're chasing the same stuff we are, that everybody is kind of trying to do. You know, we need innovation, we need growth out of old products like wheat thins. And so I don't know, it was just a really interesting kind of lens into brands and companies doing the same thing that are very different from us, but we can borrow a lot of the same shared lessons. So if you dig these videos, please hit that thumb button. It's important to get these things to spread. If you've got Twitter, Facebook, please share a link. And I hope you guys are having an awesome week. If you're new here, please subscribe. I upload a new video every day talking about this stuff. And I will see you again tomorrow. Bye, everybody.